This video is from a trip that our son Jordan, along with Mike and Sean Eason, took on this loop from Dove Springs up through the El Paso mountains and then off into the Spangler Hills in the Mojave Desert. December 21, and it was great to have our son home for about 3 weeks over this Christmas holiday. Here's the Bonanza Trail. This is the mining road in the Mojave Desert from maybe the 1930s or so, where all these cabins were built. Anyway, Jordan was in town and had his rally bike, his Husky 450. So he's there in front of me. I'm on my DRZ 400, and Sean and Mike are as well. That's Burrow Schmidt's tunnel and his old homestead there. He was a miner in this area. Been there a few times. He dug that tunnel through about a third of a mile through that mountainside. Mike got a little sideways on that turn there. It was a super dusty day, as you can see. Jordan running some wheelies off the trail here. I was in the back. I'm the slowest of this group, so I ate most of the dust. So in successive trips, I'm improving my skills, but it was super dusty. So I tended to hang back just a little bit. So we ended up going through the mountains, and you can see how tough it is to see here.
So fun to be out here with you, man. Loving it.
Really great to be with Jordan.
Canyon.
Do you now?
Yeah.
Mike saw a canyon he wanted to take us into. It's called the Narrows in the Mormon Gulch, which is this trail here. It's in a riverbed. We went a little too far down and then returned up this sand wash and then cut up through this really nasty gravel wash up to the northeast. Really would be fun if it was full of sand, but it was softball sized gravel and smaller and pretty tricky to ride on, but it's kind of neat. We went through this area called the Gold Bug Mine, and we had been there before, and through this desert campsite. And there's mines all over the place: gold, silver, copper, talc, and just a really neat historical area. Got into some hill climb area here. This is the Spangler Hills. Been here earlier in the holiday and really enjoyed blasting through these single track trails. Just a little more interesting terrain to go up and down over these hills. See Jordan messing around riding wheelies, and really fun to follow him and watch his line selection and watch his body position so I can improve what I'm doing. We stopped here for lunch. This is a place called The Bar for obvious reasons. Nobody was really out on this day. We got to the bar and then headed back through the Spangler Hills a different direction, made a big loop out of it. Mike's in front, Sean in front of me here, and just up and down through these rock formations. Really cool. Here's Jordan. This is kind of a slow pace for him. He's got his rally bike. He's going to be riding the Sonora Rally in Mexico in March. So he was doing some desert practice in this loose sand and had come back from the Mint 400. You can see that desolate stretch there. I was a little bit behind. I had to stop for something. I had to find the guys based on their dust trail. Anyway, Jordan had raced in the Mint 400 race out near Vegas and stayed with us for a few weeks and had both of these bikes. So we ended up back in this wash on the way back. This is the same one. You can see Mike in front of me. Watching the shadow here. Right there, it's a big rock I just missed. You have to be really careful on those shadow transitions. And look to the right here. That wash goes over that cliff into a much deeper ravine. So you really have to pay attention and look up. Another rock right there that you saw. I went just to the left of it. Another one in the shadow and another pit there on the left side. So you got to look up all the time and look down in your peripheral.
Is that what we could see way over there?
We saw that camp called the Holland Camp from the top of the mesa. That's an old mining camp where they mined copper and a little bit of gold, but was back in the 1930s. And then saw this cabin up on the top of the hills in the El Paso Mountains. It's called the Walsh Cabin, and it's just kind of a relic from the past. This was a beautiful downhill. You can see over 100 miles out into the Sierra Mountains.
Wow.
Mount Whitney's out there. This is way steeper than it looks. You can see Sean dragging his back tail tire rather than engine off. Jordan loved it. He went back up for another run and came flying down that mountain. I didn't have quite the nerve to do it at that speed. Got back in this wash and headed back to the truck after almost a 100-mile ride. Just a fantastic day.